listen, there's that American blackness, and that's why we prefer ADOS, because it takes it out of that. But if you're talking about the way American blackness is understood, there are people, Africans and other people, say, I never knew I was black till I got here because there are no white people where I'm from. I never understood this because there are no white people. I never lived through this. No white cop put me. I never lived through none of this. Y'all have been telling me, black immigrants and their progeny, you all have been telling me that, listen, I go through some of the same things as you all. That's a lived experience, and I respect it. But when you tell me that, you're telling me that something about America is different. Something about the lived experience here is different. Now, you don't have the inherited experience, but the idea of American blackness, what it means to be here, is different. That is not the same.
There was a time in this country when, as black people, we understood who we were. We had a movement. We understood the movement. It had an agenda behind it. And you can see video and old newspaper clippings and things of what our grandparents was thinking about. In the past, they was thinking futuristic. They was thinking, if I sacrifice now or sacrifice myself now, those that come after me will be able to benefit. They understood this. They even loved so much and sacrificed so much that they fought for other immigrants to come across the waters from different places to even join our movement. And during those times, a lot of them came and joined our movements and became very powerful in the movement because they understood blackness and what the power and unity was. People like Marcus Garvey, people like J.A. Rogers and Schomburg and so many others, Stokely Carmichael. They came across the water and joined our struggles. But all of those times have changed. Now you have a lot of immigrants that come here and they don't identify with our struggle. They don't care nothing about what we've been through as a people. They come here to make money, and all they care about is what they've been through in their country, and they come here to just replace us. So you have people like Kamala Harris who cosplay us. She went to Howard University. She slept with the Willie Browns and the Montel, that guy that had the talk show, all those different things. But when it came down time for her to get married, she married a W man. And she doesn't identify with our culture. She never has. She always said that she was of Indian descent, which I have no problem with. But you're coming and saying that you're one of us. You got a lot of black women saying that she's one of us. When you see Yvette Carnell, just lay it straight. But then you have somebody like Myron Gaines. He's one of these other people that's on the right. And he goes in on black people. But all of a sudden, when the pressure comes, he wants to think that we're all the same and unify us by saying this.
He has a whole movement where there's foundationally black Americans and then Americans that, or then there's other people that are like people that aren't necessarily from that foundationally black. So if you're a first generation immigrant, you're from the islands, whatever, they don't consider you an FBA, which I think is kind of funny. I look at us all black, but that's fine. And he does this post, right, to kind of say, this dude's Haitian, he's not one of us. But I look at it like the general public is going to look at this, regardless if there's a Haitian flag on his head or whatever, that, oh, look, that's how they're going to look at it. It's a black dude.
So what Tariq Nasheed is saying, that we should delineate from these other black groups that come into America. And I agree with him. I understand that in the past we had Pan-Africanism, but it seems as if we're the only ones that's practicing Pan-Africanism in America. You know, other groups come here, and as they should, come here to make money, but they don't identify with. I learned from being around a lot of Africans here in Philadelphia, I've learned the conversations of different Africans coming from different places. A person that's from Zimbabwe has a different perspective than somebody from the Ivory Coast. Somebody from Senegal has a different perspective than somebody that's from Mauritania. And I have friends that come from all these different places. My brother from Mauritania is hardcore, super pro-black. He can't stand the other groups because of what he went through. Same thing for my brother from Zimbabwe. Similar to the way black Americans think. One of my homeboys from Ivory Coast is a little bit different. He's a little bit different, right? So it depends on who you're talking to. But as black Americans, we have our own culture and our own system in place. Tariq Nasheed responded when he said, in NYC, a Haitian man blanked a female cop in the face, and he ended up face down, basically on the ground. And basically, we're saying that we don't have nothing to do with that. You know, a lot of groups want to come here and they want to basically intermingle with us when it's good, but when something go bad, you know, they don't want to take the blame for stuff that their people is doing, especially here in Philadelphia and in NYC. They come in and just look like us and it's just black American crime. No, that's them. But then you have groups that come here down and talk down on us. They call us slaves. They call us all kinds of names. They go in on us and everything. They don't identify with nothing that we've been through, and they don't even care. They actually come here and they get white W spouses. They join the right, and they talk down on us. So people like Myron, he's not the minority. There's a lot of them that think that way today. It wasn't like that when I was growing up, but today it is. So you had a woman from Sudan that was going in on Black American culture. So Tariq Nasheed responded back, but she was saying that we're beggars, we don't work hard for anything, we're not survivors. She was saying all kinds of things. So then Tariq Nasheed struck back with humanitarian fears as thousands of Sudanese flee to Chad on foot. UN estimates 100,000 will flee Sudan conflict to Chad, which already hosts more than 500,000 refugees. So he's saying that they're fleeing and they have all kinds of stuff going on. But it gets so bad that over there, they're making videos like this.
I'm here in Farshana, where Sudanese refugees are being relocated from Adre. They have fled from escalating violence in Sudan. Family and children have fled on foot, leaving everything behind. They urgently need help. We are leading the refugees emergency response here in Chad to ensure people are provided with emergency shelter, medical care, psychological support, and more. Every day, my colleagues are working all over the world to provide people forced to flee with emergency help. But we need your help. Please donate to support UNHCR emergency response.
But see, Yvette Carnell and the ADOS movement wasn't finished. And this is why I said that the FBA and ADOS movement should not be having a fighting amongst each other. There has to be unity amongst our ranks. We may have our disagreements here or there, but at the end of the day, we're the same people. We're the same people. So we definitely shouldn't be fighting. There should be some form of a unified front or a meeting behind closed doors, something, right? So Yvette Carnell, she went in on Kamala Harris more. Because, like I said, Kamala Harris could have came on TV and said, listen, I hear the whispers, I hear the rumblings. I know that I'm not a descendant of Black Americans. My mother's Indian, my father's Jamaican and Irish or whatever he is, and he even his descendants own plantations. But I've been here. I represent a woman of color, and bring the Black agenda to me, and we'll work things out. She haven't even said that because she doesn't have to. She knows that she's going to get your vote anyway. She knows that a lot of you sisters are going to go out there and just say, I'm going for the sisterhood, girl. What sisterhood? What sisterhood? Where she come from? How is she your sister? How? Just because she's a woman? That's why I said we got to get out of that pro-woman stuff, that pro-black man. We got to be pro-black family, pro-lineage, pro-our group. So this is what Yvette Carnell said when she doubled down.
We're going back to Trump. Trump didn't say that. I'm not a Trump supporter. Trump zeroed out budgets for our community. You don't have to be a Trump supporter to understand what is true and what is false. Trump said she just goes back and forth. I don't know what she is. She used to claim Indian, now she claims something else. So you just can't say that she was an AKA Yvette. She gotta be one of us. So you're saying that the college experience is what defines you, not your history, not your parents, not your wealth, not your grandparents, not your great-grandparents. You're saying what defines you is a college experience when most ADOS don't even go to college. What are y'all talking about? See, I don't know what she's talking about. That's not even what Trump said. What Trump did was eavesdrop our conversation because Trump knows he don't need to win the black vote. He just needs to get a little bit of it. And he just needs a few people to say, maybe she ain't like us. Because a lot of people will vote based on race, quote unquote race. She's black. Yeah, she's black. I got to vote for the black woman. He knows I'm going to show you or use the ADOS argument and show you that she's not what you think she is. And I don't need 90+% of the Democrats. I need 10 to 15, if that. And if I have high voter turnout, I don't need that. So he don't need that. He's not saying that. He's saying the same thing that we tried to have, the conversation that we tried to have in 2019, and you called us bots, and you said that we were MAGA, and you said all this stuff. We were trying to have this conversation to say Kamala has to run, or Obama should have run, on an agenda and not just I'm black and stand on a Selma bridge. You don't get to stand on that bridge. That's not your bridge. You come from two affluent immigrants. The immigration story is your life story, not this story. You can't own this story. The same way we should have got when Obama said Kenyan, the Kenyan white story is not our story. You see, when these people, you know how you know, and I said this last night, y'all know who on the Patreon. You know how I know they're not ADOS? If you can go in one generation from being here to vice president or president, you ain't us. Because we've been here 400 years and we ain't never got there. If you can get there that fast, you ain't us. So let me get on to what else Nicole Hannah-Jones had to say. We saw this same orchestrated amnesia when Barack Obama set out to become the first black president. It seems that when a mixed-race black American appears to be ascending to the pinnacles of power, some white Americans suddenly forget the race rules that white society created. I'm sorry to be repetitive for the people who were here last night, but let me just say it because I have to provide this foundation. The white society created rules for us. Let me remind everybody that black immigrants didn't get here until after 1965, after the Immigration Act of 1965. All of those rules were created for us. We have studies now that show the outcomes are different for black immigrants and their progeny than from native black Americans, which are ADOS. We have the data to show that now. That's who the rules were created for. It was not created for an affluent, the daughter of an affluent Indian and an affluent Jamaican. The rules were not created for them. That's not how this thing goes. And I can't even tell you, I don't know how white America reacts to a mixed race person of ADOS lineage who is ascending very high because I ain't never seen them. I haven't seen a ADOS person who is, except for like, you got to go all, I'm talking about they talking about a mixed race person. Now see how she's flattened it to we all just mixed the same. She just flattened blackness after going in March and saying we can't have no flat blackness. You don't know what you coming and going because none of these ideas are yours. Nicole, let this go. Go find something else to write about. This is stupid. You can't do this by saying we're not the same and then come back and then say we the same because we all mixed and you ain't, and your daddy come from Mississippi and her daddy goes to Stanford. Kamala Harris's daddy was at Stanford when MLK was getting bit by dogs. What are you talking about during the civil rights movement? What are we talking about? He could come here and travel during the time where most people, him and her mama, when a time when most people wasn't even on planes. When's the first time you was on a plane? When the first time your mama was on a plane? Kamala's what, 59, 60? How old is she? Her mama was on a plane she grew up in Westmount, a wealthy Canadian. I'm talking about her high school years, Westmount, wealthy Canadian neighborhood. What are we talking about? How do you liken that life to this life because y'all both mixed and your daddy come from Mississippi? What are you talking about? Trump's questioning of Harris's black bona fides was swiftly denounced because Harris has long identified as black. I don't care how she identifies. Like, this is why, see, we're talking about American blackness, which is ADOS, American descendants of slavery. I don't care how she identifies. It's not her choice. We should have been said, listen, we're ADOS. You can claim this is a American blackness, right? You can claim that, but you can't claim this because you cannot own our history. You cannot just put our legacy and the context of our life and these 400 years of struggle. You cannot just put that backpack on and say it's mine too. No. That's an inherited experience, and you don't have that inheritance. Yes, we inherited poverty, and yes, we inherited wealthlessness, but you cannot use it to run for office. Hey, Kamala, we need that black agenda up on your website. I don't need you just run around talking about who you chose. I don't know what you're running on. I couldn't tell you what you're running on.
So I ended here. We got to have some form of self-respect for us as a group, as a people. What do you want? The door is wide open and anybody can come here and cosplay as us. Anybody could be us because we don't have cultural integrity. We don't have cultural integrity. They set after everything that we've been through in this country. Everything that Yvette Carnell said about what happened in Selma on that bridge and everything. These groups come here and they just walk the bridge and act like they us. No, they have an immigrant story. Their story is not our story. Their story is not my grandfather and my grandmother's story. No, it's not. It's not my father's story. My father was in Vietnam in 1967 when it first started. My family down in Georgia and Alabama and all that. No, that's not her story. So that other woman that Yvette Carnell was speaking about was a black American woman that was caping for Kamala. And she said, how you caping for Kamala when Kamala's ancestors is not yours? They're not the same. Well, let me rephrase that. We are the same family, but we have different arguments depending on where we were dropped off at. And we have we have a tribe here in America that we're fighting for that's benefiting us. Y'all should be supporting us. We would support y'all if y'all get it, right? But this is the thing that goes on, man. And then you have people like Myron that come over and he does what he does. He says the things that he says. But I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of them today. When I was growing up, a lot of the immigrants that came in from Africa and the Caribbean, they was 10 toes down. They was rocking with us. They was fighting with us. Stokely Carmichael was from Trinidad. Minister Farrakhan is from the St. Thomas or the Bahamas, if I'm not mistaken. They was rocking with us. They was with us, 10 toes down, right? Not now. No. J.A. Rogers, they was with us. Not now. They come over now, man. All they care about is themselves. They go get a W partner, and they totally separate from us. So we gotta separate from them, and we gotta say this is us. We fighting for our agenda as a people. So I don't have no problem with that. So I'm gonna cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.